Now, very quickly, let's move on to the next topic. Job searching strategy. Is there such thing as strategy? Is there a way that I can optimize my visibility, my suitability to the job that I would like? Any suggestion?
Actually, there are a few. Okay, the world has changed. You know, employers look for different things and different ways. There's different ways to the market today. You know, I'm a headhunter, right? And I think we've got other headhunters here too. You know, we are just one source, one channel. So I like to call this a channel strategy. We are only one channel to the market. Get to know them, build a relationship with the headhunters. You know, they will have opportunities, they'll call. That's just one. The other channels, there are many others, right? And one of the things which you will find in many companies today are talent acquisition people, right? They are recruiters, internal recruiters. Many of them come from the firms that, you know, that do recruitment. So they're all internal guys. Build relationships with them. How do you get there? LinkedIn is a great platform for that, right? You might find jobs on LinkedIn, but it's also a platform to connect with people, right? And, you know, I give advice to some senior guys. You know, I deal with CEOs. I tell them, why don't you're not going to find a job on LinkedIn, but if you look for people, right, that are, you know, former colleagues, we talk about the network, right, former colleagues, board members, former whatever, connect with them. What's wrong, you know, I mean, if they say no, so what, right? Another channel to the market is understanding who's going to hire you, right? Let's say you pick, these are the companies I want to work for. These are the people, the guy that's potentially going to hire me is, I don't know, maybe the director of IT, let's say, right? What's to stop you from writing to the guy? What's to stop you from finding out who that person is and writing? Today, unsolicited resumes, we get it every day. Right? Employers get unsolicited resumes every day. I'm interested in your company. This is what I can do. This is what I've been. This is what my career looks like. If there's an opportunity, I'd love to be considered for a role in your company. And so if you write 20, 30, 40, nobody answers, so what? You try. You continue. Right? Finding a job is a full-time job.
How many of you apply for a new job using a job board, like a job street or a job central, etc.?
Job portal.
A job portal, yeah. And how many of you have at least 5 people in your network that you can trust and that trust you back? It is just 5 in your professional network.
I trust them, I'm not sure whether they trust me.
So, if you post 50 or 500 jobs for that matter, those 5 people in your network would probably be more effective and more influential than those 50 jobs that you posted. Because the reality of it is everyone's resumes after a while start to look similar. You can go through coaching, you can tighten up your resume, which is all good things, don't get me wrong, absolutely good and valid. But what will get you through is your network, and I think we're hearing that time and time again. That's the message on the wall, is loud and clear, because at the end of the day, you may have 1 million jobs out there for 1 million people, doesn't mean it's a 1-for-1 correlation, right? It really doesn't mean that. At the end of it, you're one individual who wants one job in one company, which means you have to sow that network around that to get to that. That's almost the only way forward. It's a very interesting thing that happened with Airbnb. It was on Twitter quite recently, I think last year. There's this girl who wanted to get into Airbnb, and she had a lot of credentials like lots of others as well, and Airbnb was very sought after, so I think they had 20,000 or maybe 50,000 applications for the same job. So what she did was, she actually found the Airbnb guy on Twitter, who's the CEO of the company, and she wrote to him directly. And she started following his tweets, and she started responding to that. And then after that, he posed a certain question as to how I would solve this, and she gave him a 5-page thesis on how she would. She got the job, right? Because what he saw is passion, there's intent, she's following it to make sure that, listen, I really want this job. There's persistence and there was outcome, right? And those stories are repeating themselves again and again. It's not about a fancy, good-looking resume. Yes, that's required, but that doesn't get you over the line. Network and your persistence and your passion does.
Tushar, I have a almost similar experience to share. Happened about 15 years ago. I was at a seminar, I made a presentation, and then after the presentation, this young man came up to me and he says that, sir, your presentation is very interesting. Can I have your name card? I thought that was the end of Avino. And 3 days later, Avino called me. He says, sir, at the time I was working for Lotus, he says, you have a very interesting product. And I was thinking about this product, and here's a proposal of how you can actually use it. And he wrote to me, not 5 pages, but he wrote to me in a PowerPoint slides with 3 different solutions, 3 different scenarios, not even a job application letter. And then at the end he says, would you be interested to have me as part of your team?
Wow.
He's still on my Facebook. His name is Avino, Indonesian, young guy, Wow. I've never found a better job application than that.
I think it's important for us to think about our own personal branding. And I think whether you're looking for a job or not, it is important to maintain a certain persona on your LinkedIn profile, on your professional profile. I always encourage, and I mentor quite a lot of people, I say, look, if you're at a mid-level and you are looking at establishing yourself in a particular field, project management, sales, or whatever it may be, it doesn't hurt if every 6 months or so you write an interesting personal point of view article on the subject. And it's just to establish yourself that you're actually quite a, not necessarily expert, but somebody who knows enough to be able to have a discussion on, let's say, LinkedIn blog, let's say, right? And that established that sort of credential of what, of you as a person in sales, a person in project management, in whatever industry that is. And I think we're coming to a stage where depth and details of knowledge in the field that you're in is important. So you look at people like Richard Branson constantly on LinkedIn, right? In Singapore, we have a person called Chatri Siok Tong who runs 1FC. And the way they deal with social media is with content, with intent, and very, very personal, right? I mean, it's a story, and sometimes it does touch the core of the emotional aspects of being a human. And I think, of course, I'm not saying you need to be at that level, but what I'm saying is that even if a cursory looked at your LinkedIn or your social media, it should give a sense of who this person is, right? And so watch your personal brand, because when someone wants to hire you, normally they will also check your LinkedIn, they will check your social media, especially if it's open. If they cannot find anything about you, then of course you've taken the step of closing up and locking everything down. That doesn't help either, right? So at the bare minimum, LinkedIn, right? Facebook, Instagram, all this I understand, because that could be personal. But from a professional perspective, at least LinkedIn must, or maybe there are other website, job portal that need to be at least active in, right? So watch your personal brand.